Rebecca and welcome to my channel. I am so excited to show you this DIY. I was perusing around the internet and I came across the Grandin Road website and I found this reindeer. And I thought it was the most magnificent thing that I had ever seen. And then I seen the price and I went, ain't nobody got time for that. And I can make that. So let me show you what I did. I'm going to use 2 pieces of ready board, foam board for this project, and I purchased them at Dollar Tree. Here's just a little tip. If you are uncertain about your sketching skills and if you do not want dark lines to show and you're not sure where your project is going to go, get a white paint marker, or I purchased mine at the Dollar Tree, and sketch your drawing out, and then you will not have any pencil or pen marks on your project that will not show through on your finished product. I took my craft knife that I purchased at Dollar Tree. I love this craft knife set. And then I very carefully just went over my sketch marks and I cut this out. I just used the picture from the Grandin Road reindeer to make the reindeer head. I purchased 3 of these 10 by 10 boxwood mats at Walmart for $2.98 a piece. And then I used hot glue and started gluing them onto the reindeer head. Because of the size, I used one for the wider portion of it, and then for each part of the ear, I used one mat for one ear, the right side, and then I used another mat for the left side, and I made sure that they were all joined very tightly together and hot glued really well so that nothing would lift up. I had everything really secured and hot glued together. I just flipped it over and I took my bandage shears and I started trimming the boxwood mat around the shape of my reindeer head. My first go around with the scissors, I was really more concerned with just trimming the mat and clipping all of the little joining pieces of plastic and really not being too precise with it and getting a shape. I just really wanted to get the mat cut apart on the first go around with this. And then once I had the mat clipped apart, then it's easier to go back and do a little bit more shaping around the boxwood, if that makes any sense, because there's little plastic grids that are holding the boxwood together, and so you kind of want to give yourself a little bit more space to work with. And I like to use the bandage scissors for this because they're really very durable and they're not going to wreck your crafting shears, but they will cut this plastic, this harder plastic, very easily. Since you are working with a mat, there are going to be little gaps and holes, but there's going to be some boxwood left over, and it's very easy to clip some pieces off and then just apply a little hot glue to those little ends and tuck in and fill and just make it look like one continuous piece. And so any place where the foam board was shining through, I just went ahead and just clipped off a little piece, put a little hot glue on it, and then just filled in the little gaps and spaces and holes so that none of my foam board would show through, and it looked like a continuous, once again, mat of boxwood, just like I had originally purchased. I had the spaces filled in. It looked like a continuous piece. I purchased these bells at the Dollar Tree in a pack of 6, and then I had purchased these little wooden balls in a pack of I believe they were 6 off of Temu. I know Hobby Lobby has them as well. And I think I purchased them for $1.48. They're like 20 millimeter balls. And I took some Waverly chalk paint in crimson and I put 2 coats over this red bell. I can be a really messy crafter, so I try to minimize that as much as I can. So I put the bell and the 2 wooden balls on a piece of masking tape to kind of make them stick, and it kind of grips them onto the surface and they don't roll around, and then I can just paint them and I have a little bit of stability to my project. And then I took some Waverly chalk paint in the color ink and I put 2 coats on the little wooden balls, and they are going to be my reindeer nose and my reindeer eyes. I'm really not sure what the Grandin Road piece used for the nose and the eyes, but I had the bells in my stash and I really thought that this would add a touch of whimsy to this, and I thought it turned out really cute. So it may just be a large wooden ball, I'm not really sure, but this is what I chose to put on mine, and I thought that it was just really kind of whimsical and really kind of cute. I just took some hot glue and glued them into position. On my second piece of foam board, I cut the reindeer antlers out, and I cut them out identical because I used one antler and traced it out and cut the second antler out, and then in order to mirror it, then I just kind of flipped it over so that they would be facing each other. I was trying to achieve the texture of the twigs and the look of the twine that I had originally started to go with, and so I went a little heavy with the wax, and like I said, there was some little residue of some hot glue on there, and I had gotten my black paint out, and so I just took my hot glue gun and I started making some purposeful lines with my hot glue and to match what was already there. And I really actually kind of liked it. I went over it with some antique wax. I went over it with some black, and it was achieving the look, the texture, the dimension that these sticks were giving in the picture of the Grandin Road piece. And I was really liking how it was coming out. And then I'm going to just tell you, my project went 50 ways from Sunday. The Grandin Road piece has twigs on the antlers, and I was going to actually put twine on the antlers. I wrapped one of the antlers with twine. I absolutely hated it. I thought it was hideous, horrendous, totally unrighteous, and I took all the twine off of it. And I sat and looked at it for a while and couldn't figure out what I was going to do. And then I had some Waverly antique wax in my painting supplies, and so I just decided to start painting the antler because I was at a loss. I did not know how I was going to achieve this, and I was very well into this project. And if you're a crafter, you know the frustration. So I started just putting the antique wax on this, and it had some little residue from the hot glue where I had put some of the twine on there, and I was really starting to get frustrated at this point, but I went along the edges and I made sure it was, covered, and it kind of looked a little rustic. I did wipe some of the excess off with a paper towel, and I was starting to really like the looks of this. And then I had an idea. My thought going into it was, if this is horrible and I have to do something different, then all I'm out is $1.25 for another piece of ready board. I'm not going to be out a huge amount of money. So fortunately, this worked out really well. And so I was actually kind of pleased with it. And I thought it was really doing what it was that I wanted it to do. So every now and then I beat myself up in the middle of a project and I'm like, oh, that is just horrible. So it's kind of like with life. It takes a left-hand turn sometimes and you just have to go with it. So I ended up actually really loving the look of it. And then once I had my little reindeer antlers dried, I just put them into the position on the head, and then I just put a very good amount of hot glue on there, and I held it until it dried. I don't know why we're so hard on ourselves sometimes, or why we just beat ourselves up over the smallest things. I mean, what is really the worst that's going to happen? I wanted my piece to look finished, and if you are going to hang this on a door or something, then you're going to want, it to look kind of nice on the back side. So I did go ahead with some antique wax, and I had a paper towel there because I had been wiping some off, and I just went ahead and put some color on the back side of my antlers, and then I cut the reindeer head out with some brown crafting paper, and I put some string along the back to hang it up with, and then it looks a little bit more finished. You could actually put some antique wax on the back of the ears too if you wanted to make the whole thing look a little bit more finished. I'm not going to put this on a door. I'm actually going to hang this on a wall, but every now and then somebody might see the back side of it, so you never can tell. I like to make things really sturdy when I know I'm going to hang something with a little bit more weight, and sometimes twine and hot glue just doesn't cut it, so I like to fortify things with masking tape or duct tape, and then my reindeer is ready to hang. I am absolutely in love with this piece. I think he is absolutely adorable, and he is my first Christmas craft of the season, and he just thrills my soul. He is so darling, and he is so festive and high-end looking. Didn't it turn out so cute? I was so pleased with it, and I was actually fascinated with the fact that it did not cost $149. I noticed that Grandin Road had marked it down to $104.30, I believe. Still, that is a little pricey when you can dupe it for 15 bucks. I had it in my office and people were coming in going, that's really beautiful, and they were wanting me to make them one, and I'm like, you guys can make it yourself. It is really that easy. I thought that I had recorded an outro to this video. I do a lot of things in my head, and I think I've done them, and that gets me into a pickle sometimes. And I'm just in that stage right now with all of the things in the fall and holiday season that I think I've done them and I haven't, and then it's like wah, wah, wah. So outfit change, new day, fresh day, things to do. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell so you know when I've uploaded my next video. Give me a thumbs up. Welcome to all my new subscribers. You all are simply amazing, and thank you so much for watching Crafts, Laughs, and Chaos.